another great day, guys. Welcome to the iFU.Podcast. I'm your host, Austin, with my fellow co-hosts,
Sarah
and Trent.
And we just want to talk about distractions. As you see, last week we had talked about structure. So this week we are going to talk about the thing that keeps you from having that structure. And it can be from different kinds of points or views of distractions. And that would be, bad distractions, maybe good distractions. And we're also going to talk about why we have distractions in the first place.
We're going to have bad distractions and we're going to have good distractions. Bad distractions are going to keep you from achieving your goals. And good distractions are going to be for the times where you need to be distracted. And if you need to be distracted, then let it take you to a positive place, behavior, habit.
So, let's talk about what a bad distraction would look like. Sarah, you have an idea of what would be a bad distraction for your structured life that you have?
Yeah, alcohol, drugs, maybe jumping into or entertaining an old or bad relationship, whether that be a family member, someone, you were in a relationship with. Those kinds of bad relationships, some people will jump back into those as like bad distractions because it's easy or it felt good at one point, so it's easy to jump back in with that person, as well as other very bad habits. Some people have eating disorders, some people have all these different things where they have things going on mentally. They're struggling with different parts of their lives, but if they get into that bad habit or that distraction, it's something that they can get into, and use for what they think is benefiting them, but it's just a distraction from whatever mentally is going on with them.
Some of my bad distractions, pretty much my entire life, have been like video games. You get sucked into it, or you just get a bad habit of playing too much, or using that as a reason to avoid people or getting work done. That's one thing.
Yeah, and I think that one's hard because I think especially kids get into it with the mentality of it's exciting, it's fun, it's competitive, but over a period of time, especially as you get older and mature, it's used to avoid negative feeling. Because I would agree with that. I think I got into video games later in life. I was just like, man, I really, really like this. But once you have something accessed, like something you can easily access like that all the time, when something's going on with you, or like, well, I just want to play games. I'm just going to go play games. And then you could sit there playing games for hours, especially as a teenager, hours, days, your friend's house, your mom's house, your dad, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter where you go. It's easily used to completely distract yourself from whatever's going on outside of that video game world.
Yep. It had even gotten so bad for me, like coming, I would say, into maturity. I'm talking about early 20s, 19, 20, 21. And it's like, I would prefer to be a video game character. Like, my mindset is I am this character. And so, like, I'm mentally switching my realities around. And it's not healthy, obviously, for me individually, but then it's like, I'm ignoring everybody else. I don't want to deal with anything going on around me. I want to be in my own little world all the time. And that's not healthy.
That main character energy.
Yeah.
I still carry some main character energy. A little bit. But
come on, you are the main character in your own life.
Yeah.
You're just not wielding a wand, and you're not able to do things with it.
It's true. Well, for me, it'd be like a giant key.
Yeah.
Although, at one point, I did have a life-size key. But
I've always used video games, especially as an avoidance tool.
I can agree. I think that continued into my life as maybe a couple of years ago. I still will catch myself sometimes nowadays, if I'm upset about something, using it as an avoidance thing. It's like, well, I don't like this or I don't like that, and I just don't really feel like I can afford the mental stressor or really afford the time or energy it takes to work through this myself. I'm just going to go play games. I can go play games for the rest of my night and not care about this, that, or the other. But I can say I've become a lot better with that, to the point where it's like, if I'm doing it and I know I've got something mentally going on, it's actually more draining to have to sit there and force myself to try to not think about it and solve it and play the video game, versus actually just sitting there solving it, going through it, communicating about it if I have to, or just being honest about it and being like, I'm just not happy. Even if you do that, it's easier for me.
Mhm.
Like, I can't even use it anymore for that.
Yep. Since we've worked in our workouts, especially, like, I've played significantly less video games. Which, even if working out is still slightly a distraction for me personally, like, it's much more of a positive thing than sitting by myself playing video games.
Yeah, it's a no, I want to play this because I want to be competitive and I want to try to get better at this, or I'm playing it because I want to be better at playing with mouse and keyboard and I suck, so I'm going to keep playing this because I can't. Or it's like, or my friends are on here and I want to talk to my friends. Like, it's not just a time pass or an avoidance thing for me anymore.
Yeah. I think the biggest distraction, though, that I see among people and even myself is our phones.
Yep.
I mean, all you got to do is pop that up, and it's just like, oh, Facebook, oh, Twitter, TikTok, whatever.
Oh, TikTok is the worst.
Yep.
And it doesn't take long. It's like, oh, I'm just going to watch this one video. All right. We'll swipe. Oh, look, that's funny, too. Or that's catchy. Or, or like, what's going on in this person's life? And it's easy for people to get distracted. And even like, if you're reading an audiobook or listening to an audiobook, you got that plugged in and you're just trying to, I don't really want to be here right now, so I'm just going to fade into this story or this world that, it's, and I'm not saying they're bad, because like we're going to talk about is there's good distractions and bad distractions, but there's got to be a point where, it's okay because I'm just doing this just for my free time, just to, in a healthy way, then be like, all right, well, like for me, like, all right, well, my kids want me to play with them, but I'm busy, playing a game on my phone or scrolling through Facebook.
Even good distractions easily turn into a bad distraction.
The usage, and I think what it winds down to is time used.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense, because like when we get into good distractions, I'm definitely bringing back up video games. You know what I mean?
Because it is a good thing too.
And 100%. And a phone is good for a lot of things. Distraction wise, maybe not much, but it could easily be wound into there. There's a lot of things that we can easily tie into bad distractions that can easily be tied into good, and I think a lot of the main component is time used, and when you're using it.
Yep.
Like if you are just in the bathroom for over an hour because you're on your phone, you should probably leave.
I'm
guilty of that, not gonna lie, but
definitely think that sitting in the bathroom on your phone for an hour, there's time wasted in there.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
But yeah, the phone, it just social media, honestly, in my opinion, is the worst.
It's already a negative place too.
It's already negative, like so mentally. Granted, I will say that there is a lot of positive, because I get a lot of positive things out of it, but majority it's negative. It's people's opinions, and if you're not emotionally mature or you're not open-minded, then you get on there and you get mad at your aunt that posted this politic, or your brother that posted this opinion of whatever it may be, and it'll spiral you on your worst days, you know what I mean? And I don't know. It's so bad. I think the instant gratification that people need from it nowadays is too much.
And when my TikTok account was actually popular and growing rapidly, I had posted a Minecraft video that got hundreds of thousands of views and likes. And it drove me nuts, like that entire couple of weeks, because it was just constant updates on that video.
Mm-hmm.
And half of them were younger kids who weren't even born, just really upset that I used the Cranberry song.
What?
A Cranberry song?
Yeah, it's oh man, I can't remember the name of the song now. It's Cranberry's like only really famous song, but
Zombies?
Yeah, Zombie. because I transformed a villager back, or a zombie villager back into a villager, and I put like that sound bit in on the TikTok, and kids were so upset. Like, do you even know why they made this song? And I'm like, they traveled the world making a lot of money off of this song. Like, it's fine.
Yep. I can go into the immaturity of the, but I mean, honestly, a lot of social media do not do well enough at keeping kids off of it. Like, everybody knows that Facebook, what used to be MySpace, you know, can't do that anymore. I don't know why I even said that. Like, that just popped right out of there. But
that shows how old we are, folks.
Yeah, yeah.
MySpace was way better.
Yeah.
Oh, 1,000%. It was teaching people how to be computer programmers before we even knew what that was.
Yep.
Like, I knew how to do it, and I think I only got into it like the last year and a half. You know what I mean? But anyways, everybody knows you have to be 18 to have a Facebook account. Everybody knows you got to be 18 to have an Instagram account.
Well, you should be 18. There are those who...
That's what I'm saying is everybody knows kids get on there and put fake, you know, whatever, birth dates on it. And yeah, they do have kids portions of it on there. They don't go through and look at pictures and be like, yeah, this person's definitely not 18 years old. I'm not sure why you have a Facebook, but they don't care. But the downside of that is when you're on there and you're posting things, like, I don't have any children on my Facebook except for my niece, but she's 16. And it's like, so I know I don't have people looking at certain things, but a lot of people have their nieces, their nephews, 10, 11, 13 years old on there. And then you don't think about what you're posting. And then things like that, you've got little kids on there, or even adults mad at you over a song you use in a silly Minecraft video, and people are keyboard warriors. They think they got something to fight for over something so small.
Yeah, their distraction in that would be, well, I'm just gonna, you know, put my own self-pity or my own anger and whatever I got bottled up and make it towards,
you know why?
This post.
Because they're using it as a bad distraction. If you're on, so let me just, this is my opinion, okay? If you're on social media and you see something silly like that, and it angers you to the point where you need to leave a comment,
you probably should just walk out of the room. You're
using your social media in a bad distraction, and you need to go do something else other than be on that social media in the best way.
Go find something positive to do.
Yeah. Go waste that anger at the gym. You'd be surprised how much heavier your weights can be if you're angry at the gym.
Or maybe not even go to the gym. Just go for a walk, you know.
Or a quick walk.
Quick walk.
I can't be
stride.
I can't be angry and just walk. I can't. I've got to like walk fast, or I've got to be like expressive with my arms, or run. Like, I can't just walk.
Yeah. Or talk about it with somebody who's willing to listen, that's not on the social media at your current moment.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Or your bad past relationship, or your unhealthy parent or sibling relationship, or don't dive back into a negative relationship just because you feel like you need their acceptance, or you need their attention, or whatever it may be.
So we have bad distractions that will keep us from having structure and completing our goals and just venting when you really shouldn't be doing those kind of things. But what is an example of a good distraction?
Good distraction, I think, is, really, like, my whole journey within this past year has been good distractions turning into just more positive behavior and habits, because I really needed something to distract me, because I really couldn't change circumstances.
Yeah.
So, video games, I use that as a good distraction. But you have to do that responsibly. So, make sure you're with friends and making the most out of that time. And of course, video games are also really good for just unwinding and, relaxation, and, escapism isn't always bad. So that's one good distraction. Just make sure you're using your good distractions to form better habits and lead to better behaviors.
Yeah, like it's okay to get on there, unwind for an hour, 2, 3. It's when you're spending 8, 9, your entire day
Yeah.
on there.
I would say definitely like if there's something heavy that you're dealing with, maybe it's the pass of a loved one, maybe you're in a bad relationship and you just need to keep your mind off of it, video games or, social media or whatever it might be. Something to distract you, going to the gym or just going to see some friends or something. Those are good distractions because you're not putting yourself down. You're not keeping yourself in a pit of despair, or as Sarah said, you don't spiral, out of control and lose yourself in it.
Yeah, if you could, for example, like if you're really struggling and you're going to say, well, I could just have a drink. Rather than do that, find something better to distract you from that. Keep yourself from doing those negative things.
Yeah, there's definitely a difference between drinking with, a good and positive attitude and doing it responsibly,
Right.
than doing it because you're like, I can't handle today.
Yeah. I don't like this emotion. I can't handle this emotion. And I'm going to drink to the point where I can't think straight. Or I'm going to drink to the point where I can't feel this emotion. Or I'm going to drink to the point where tomorrow when I wake up, I don't know where I'm going to be. Because unfortunately, I've known more than one of that person. And it's okay to go out and have a night and have fun. But when you're repeatedly making that your decision for that reason, knowing that is when it's bad. But going out, like on Saturdays after work, we'll go out with our friends and we get drinks. Drink or two, you know what I mean? That's okay. Go out, socialize, have fun. Don't drink and drive.
Yeah.
Like Austin said, be responsible. And then we talked about the gym. That's a good distraction because
if y'all haven't found out, we really like the gym.
Yeah. Well, to really hone it in there, because not you may be mentally struggling, but number one, the what I call happy chemicals that are produced within your abdomen that are good for your brain are produced through exercising.
Mm-hmm.
Then if it's something you're doing consistently like we are, you start seeing your body change, you're toning or you're losing weight. Or maybe you're gaining weight if you're struggling with an eating disorder. There's a lot of good things that can come from it that will boost your mental, not just your physical.
Yep.
And if you're boosting your mental, it has layover into your emotional. And so I think that's really why we really hone in, us two specifically, on the gym is because it always starts with, well, I just need something to help me get all this negative out. Or I just need something to help me I feel gross, and I just need something to help me get it out. And it starts there, and then it becomes a habit, and you start seeing all the results. And I think it's a really, really good start, because our bodies require it.
Yeah. And
we weren't made to sit down all day.
Or if for some reason in your budget you can't afford to go to the gym, go for a walk. Like my wife and I like to take our kids out for walks, and we walk a mile or two together. My wife will even put on like speed walking videos and just like walk in place in the house. And
you can do yoga on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can do wall Pilates on YouTube. You can do little at-home athletic routines on YouTube.
Roomba or whatever it is.
Yeah, the little dancing, or is it Roomba?
I think it's Roomba.
I
just know there was a lot of like thrusting movement going on.
What's the little robot that cleans the floor? What are those called?
That's a Roomba.
Oh, that's Roomba. Maybe Zumba.
Zumba. That's what it is. That's why I'm like, really? Am I going crazy?
The sad thing is I actually have a Roomba at home, so.
And yet going to the gym, like, alternative is go home and be alone, and just, if you're like struggling with depression or something like that, that's the worst thing for you sometimes, just being alone. So if you have a partner to go to the gym with, that's also social time you're getting. So, it might be distracting you from, what's going on in your mind, but you're doing it in a positive way. And like me and Sarah also share together. Like we'll be running, and we're also sharing.
Yeah. Sometimes we can communicate the whole time. Most of the time we cannot.
Like 2 or 3 laps in, we're like, okay, gotta breathe.
Yeah, I'm like, and then
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I sing half the time, but I also go once a month with you guys.
Yeah, once a month. One time you went 2 times in 1 week.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah. Should go more often.
I'm a little preoccupied.
It's fine.
It's true. And Trent talks about like when you come home and you could be alone, or in my case, like I come home and I'm definitely not alone.
Yeah.
You know, there's no opportunity to be alone unless you lock yourself in a bedroom or something.
Especially when you got young kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I have very young kids. But even then, like you have to check yourself mentally because kids will drive you up the wall, and if your partner or spouse hasn't had a good day, then you know that's just going to cause clashing, and so you instantly want to distract yourself. Well, instead of trying to distract yourself with something bad, think of maybe a good distraction that can benefit all of you.
Yeah.
Like I said before, maybe a family activity, maybe you know y'all just go out to the movies, maybe just go for a drive. I know a lot of times my wife and I will go for a drive, and somehow the kids will fall asleep in the back seat, and then that's like our perfect time to actually have like adult conversations, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of times she says it's because she knows I can't do anything while I'm driving, and she's got me trapped in the car.
I was getting ready to say, so you can't get away.
But I really do love the moments because you really get to learn more about each other, and not only that, but you have just helped each other through a stressful day.
Yeah.
And are growing through those moments together. And that's what's important.
Yeah. Or board games.
Board games. I haven't played a good board game in a long while.
We've been getting into board games. It's hard with our kid because it has to be like busy or else he gets bored. So like we have one called Librarian. It's just a board that goes in an oval like a NASCAR track. And you've got, 4 rings, and you've got this guy that you sit on the back, and you shuffle it around the board. It'll highlight 3 letters, and you have to name something with whatever category that you drew this card out of, and make it all the way around the board, yelling out all these, things with one of the letters within the rings, and make it all the way around. He loves that one. Are the answers within the realm of the category? Sometimes no, but he loves that. I don't know if it's because he can yell or just like he just keeps talking, or if he really thoroughly enjoy it, but that's one of his favorites. He also really likes Uno.
Those are games that really keep you busy, though.
Yeah. He tried to get me to play Phase 10 with him. Have you guys played Phase 10?
I don't think so.
I couldn't even describe it to him yet without him getting bored. Like, I couldn't explain the game. So it's like, I'm working there. I really want him to get into, like, some good board games, like Risk or stuff like that. Because me and my brother really enjoy, like, games like Risk. No way is he going to be able to make it through a game like that.
It's a long period of time to be concentrating on something more complex.
Yeah. But
and often with Risk, like, you can't complete a game session in one night or whatever.
Yeah. Unless, depending on how many people. Right. I feel like if it's 2 people, it's a lot easier. The more people you add, though, a lot harder.
So we have these distractions, and we kind of talked about why we already have them. Whether it's because we're trying to avoid something or face something. And sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad. But I think we kind of want to talk about something that is even more challenging, and the reason why we have distractions. Fear. And fear is a very, very sensitive subject at times, I think. Because whether it's fear of what somebody might say or think about what you're going to do, or fear of like your past mistakes coming to get you, that you're worried about that. But we are going to talk more about fear on the next episode of iFU.Podcast. And remember, you are loved.
Always be kind.
And keep trying.
All right, guys. See you next week.
Bye.